With phone cameras becoming ever so better, is there a reason to forgo buying a real camera in favor of using a phone camera to film social media content and to take pictures for social media? One of the main benefits of phones is that they're always on you, no matter what. All you have to do is just take it out of your pocket and start filming. But if you were to actually bring a camera, you have to plan ahead. You have to be like, oh, I gotta bring my camera because I'm gonna go out of town for the weekend and I gotta make sure that I can still film in the hotel room or whatever. However, there are still certain things that even a cheap DSLR camera will do so much better than a phone camera that comes even with a really good phone. The main thing about getting a real camera over a phone is the amount of control that you will have over every aspect of everything that you want to be able to control. The problem with a phone is that it has 3 buttons. It's got power, volume up, and volume down. That's not enough. That means that when you're trying to control aspects of your phone's camera, it gives you a little slider, right? It's like editing TikToks with the little slider button. It's just not accurate enough sometimes, and it becomes a really big issue. The other issue is that because of that, their menus make it so that you have to open a menu, select what you want, use the slider to hopefully get it where you want it to be. So it could be focus or it could be lighting or something like that, or your aperture. And then you have to get out of that menu, then go to the next menu and continue adjusting whatever you want using the same slider. It's really too slow, both on the slider front, but also having to switch through menus again and again and again. So because of this, you could simply say, oh, well, I'll just use my phone on auto. That's what it was meant to do anyway. And that is fair. That is completely and totally fair. The problem with that, though, is that eventually, and I do say eventually, so obviously a phone camera will work for a while, your skills will start to outgrow the auto features that come with your phone. Even if it's a really great camera, eventually your skills are going to become better because you'll start to understand what makes a great video or what makes a great photo. And you could say, well, I'll buy better lights. Or, well, I will buy better X, Y, and Z microphones, whatever. But eventually, it's still not going to be enough. And you're going to start to say, well, I want control over this little thing because the phone is wrong. And you're eventually going to get to that point, and it's going to be super frustrating, and you're just simply going to wish that you bought the camera to begin with. Buying cameras, if you're worried about the learning curve, it's not that difficult. If you're worried about the money, it's totally worth it. Even just to get like a $700 camera, you can keep it around for a couple years. That's basically more than your phone. Cameras were built for control. If you look at any camera, even cheap DSLR cameras, there are buttons all over the body, and some even have touch screens that you can access different points at a time so that you can have as much control over as possible. You have shutter speed wheels, you have ISO buttons, you can just quick poke and just hit a quick button to get your aperture where you want it to be. It was built for this control exactly. Phones were not, unfortunately. It would be nice, I will fully admit that. It would be nice to be able to just pick out your phone and be like, gotcha, But cameras today are still so much better. And as you get higher and higher in price, the auto features start to go away to eventually where everything has to be on manual. It has to be continuously set for each shot. In fact, for every movie that you've ever seen, they have cameras where it was only able to do manual focus, and they had a person who specialized in maintaining focus better than any technology could use autofocus. So, like I said, using a phone to start off with is perfectly okay. In fact, that's what most people have. They have a pretty decent phone, and it's a good place to start with. But eventually, you're going to outgrow that, and you're just going to get better results across the board as your skills go up and you start to learn. Of course, you have to learn how to use these settings. Thank you so much for watching. Down in the comments, I want you to tell me, do you use a phone's camera or do you use a DSLR or a mirrorless real physical camera? And I want to know why you chose them. I will see you guys later. Have a great day.